Autobots, transform!
What is up, everybody? You're watching George Reviews. I am the 80s Transformer fan. This is Ultra Magnus from Transformers Siege War for Cybertron Trilogy line. It's brought to us by Takara Tomy up here, Hasbro down there, Transformers right there. This is the packaging. He is War for Cybertron S13 figure, says it right there. Ultra Magnus with some Cybertronian tech right there. I'm going to bring his box a little bit closer and take a look at Ultra Magnus inside the packaging. He's packaged with looks like two wings over there. I don't know what those things are. His shoulder cannons and his blaster weapon. Here he is sitting in the packaging looking very G1-esque right there. You see a lot of molding and detail on this guy. Spin the box around. Here is his artwork on the side of the box. And this is the reverse of the box. It shows he can break down to a separate cab. And for some reason they got Shockwave on his box down here. He's in this armored car carrier mode, and here he is in robot mode, side of the box and back to the front of the box. Alright, I just recently learned that the boxes for Siege figures contain Easter eggs, and if you break out a black light you can see the Easter eggs. If you hold it up here you can actually see War for Cybertron S13 right there, or WFC-S13. You come down here, you can see an Autobot, not an Autobot symbol, but a Transformer glyph that you could not see before. It also enhances the artwork as you move along. And coming down to the bottom of the box, you can see some Cybertronian writing and an Autobot symbol that you could not see before. And at the very bottom, you can see where it says Ultra Magnus and Transformers. Remove it and you can't see it. Bring it back and it reveals the hidden message, which I don't know because I don't read Cybertronian. Do you? Do you? I wonder if this mess is anywhere else on the box. I know it's on this side and coming to this little war. And my package is ripped over here, so if there's anything else over here, I will not be seeing. So that is it for the Easter egg as far as I know. Okay, now that the Easter egg moment is over, I'm going to get Ultra Magnus open. See if I can give him a slice and dice. If you've never seen my reviews, I unbox. If you don't want to go through this, fast forward or shut it down. You can even complain in the comments below if you like. So opening up Ultra Magnus from the side of the box, I believe this is intended. I guess you can open it up on both sides. Open up on the flat side. Here's Ultra Magnus. His instructions is left inside of his leader class box. Gonna get that out of here. Here's his instruction pamphlet, fold out booklet type thing. And I'm not going to use instructions. You know what I do. You know what this is. We're going to do this caveman style macho transformations over here. And wow, man, some parts forming. I may need the instructions, but I'm going to pretend like I don't. Get that to the side. Slide him out of here. I wonder if there's any more Easter eggs in there, but I'm not going to mess with that. All right, here's Ultra Magnus. Tied down. Gonna 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6. Everything should be free. And nope, I missed a couple. But brute force got it out anyway. Got his blaster out. Oh, I hate when they do this. Apparently it's red plastic, and they just painted it over with silver. They couldn't be bothered with pouring a silver mold. Or man, they could have just made this gun damn white and been done with it. I can't stand it because it's going to rub off. You can see it all inside. You can see it bleeding through at spots. Man, I hate it when they do that. That's just lazy. Alright, let's get on to Ultra Magnus. Here he is out of the box, and man, he can kind of roll. He's on roller skates here. And you can actually get this guy to roll as is. Wow. Ultra Magnus out of the box. He seems... You know, he's kind of big in the camera. I gotta push him back a little bit. He seems actually a little short. Like, he should be bigger. And the legs seem like they should rotate out. Yeah, I'm gonna rotate out a little bit more. The white, so far, okay. I see a few issues with the paint job. I'm gonna press on. And anyway, here he's out of the box. Take a look at the base figure before I get him weaponized or weaponed up. Alright, bring him a little bit closer to take a look at his head sculpt and that face. He looks very much like the representation of Ultra Magnuses that we know. And most Notably, he looks like the most recent artwork. I think it's IDW for Ultra Magnus. The face is painted silver. There are blue eyes in his eye sockets. If my light's picking it up well, I think I got a little bit on that angle. The antenna is silver paint and a blue plastic helmet. Taking a look at the top of his chest, he has a lot of molded in detail in there. Coming to his chest, a lot of molded in detail in his chest with a weathering effect on his chest. And you can just see just molded in detail everywhere on this guy. It really jumps out at you. It really looks good. Molded in detail on his waist. I just wish that little paint job could be a little bit better. His thighs, same thing here. He has the weathering on his thighs. I don't think I like it that much right here on his thighs. Kind of makes him look dirty as opposed to just scraped off. I think they didn't pull it off well on here. A lot of molded in detail in here on the paneling behind the parts where it's molded in detailing. Red paint, silver paint here coming down to his toes. And he has the weathering on his toes. Oddly enough, his feet are curved, and I think it's molded that way. And I think it's molded that way so it has clearance to roll in his vehicle mode. But I'll put that to the test in vehicle mode. All right, that's pretty much it. And he has the translucent light blue windshield in his chest, which is very, very cool. And I think that's pretty much it. Taking a look at Ultra Magnus. And we're going to do his articulation and come to his head. Man, is that looking down? He can look up. And then, like, I mean, just the marginal amount of down right there. That's all he got. His head 360s. I think it's on a ball joint in there. I think, maybe. All right, coming to his arms. And, his arms don't, I don't know if it's because of the armor, but they don't hinge out up here. They only hinge out underneath the bicep and come out to the side. You can see where it's allowed to come out right here, but this part's not going to lean up at all. So you have that. He has a bicep swivel there. Oh, and it does rotate at that shoulder, I'm sorry. And he has the bicep swivel, then the elbow hinge. You get this much out of the elbow, and then the armor's touching armor. And coming down to his wrist, you get a full 360 out of that. I believe you get full 360. And coming down to his wrist, you get a full 360 out of that. And his waist is constantly turning on me. Wants to turn. I believe you can get a 360 out of that, even with the backpack. He has total clearance on that, which is cool. And his legs, all these guys have good motion in their legs. He can do the splits. All these guys can do the splits. It's amazing. From front to back, I hear ratcheting there. You can get his front that far, but his back, the back of his leg is hitting this backpack right here. So this is about as far back as you can get it. Is what you probably can. Let me see if you can bend it in. You can bend it and get it up about that high. I'm getting it all in. So that's the range of motion from that on that hinge in there. It swivels a little bit, but it's hitting the sides of his crotch. Right in there, but it does have a swivel in there, and I'm removing the leg. Oh, big reveal, the armor comes off. It just slides off. So I can slide it back on so I can continue. All right, and it just slides right back on there. And the knee, he has a knee band right there. And there is a rocker. Even though it's more, I didn't expect that to rock, but to get him in a wider stance, you can open these up and spread them out. And he has both feet firmly on the ground. So I think that's it for his articulation. I'm gonna move on to these guns that I brought up earlier. And I think these are a holdover because, you know, he's a mold mate to like 2 other versions of Optimus Prime. And I think these are holdovers to those versions. And I hate that they're half shell guns. They look nice, but I hate that they're half shell. So first I tell you, they go everywhere. You know, these guns, and that's the theme they poured in. He can have them on the sides of his arms. You could take these out, put these right here. I don't know, sort of like smokestacks or something. Giveaway. And of course he holds them in his hand. Okay, so I'm gonna get this guy transformed and break him down to the cab before I turn him into the full truck, and I'm gonna slot this armor off. It just comes right off. That over there. Take the gun out of his hand. This untabs and slots out. It's actually in his forearm on this peg right here from this hole right here. Coming to this arm. Same thing on this side. That one's on there a little bit tight. And these leg parts just slot right off. And we're almost down. Lift this chest piece up and just untab it from his back. It looks like it slots out, but I don't think it does. Just pull it right off. Okay, open up this chest part. I gotta untab these arms. And give it a hard pull, and his head is inside here. And rotate that around, close that back up. Take this waist, flip his waist down, turn it over to give him a similar look to the Siege Optimus Prime. This butt piece here, once you push the cap all the way forward, it slots up and kind of sits up here as a backpack, just like that, to give him some clearance. Here is Ultra Magnus in his pure cab form, in his Optimus Prime palette swap. Well, he's not really Optimus Prime palette swap. This is a heavy retool at best. It looks almost like a completely different figure underneath to me. I'm hearing everybody say retool. So I think this is where the black guns come into play. So I got his dual blasters in his hand. I think this is a holdover from the Galaxy Optimus Prime. But obviously it still works with this guy. Ultra Magnus, giving him a different look in the Optimus Prime sort of cab mode. He's not exactly Optimus Prime cab, I'll get to that. But the guns work, or you can use the standard blaster from the Ultra Magnus full body mode. But it doesn't turn over like the G1 or the Masterpiece. It would turn over and fit in right here. Obviously that doesn't, but still works either way. So right now I'm bringing him a little bit closer and tell you he has the exact same head as Optimus Prime. But everything else, it looks very similar, very close, even the smokestacks, but they are different. The shoulders are different, the forearms are different. Everything is different. You can see most of this in the larger mode, but you can see the chest here. Wish they had painted a stripe down here to get a separation, but I guess they want that further different look. The grill right here is translucent. You can feel the molded in detail there. Coming to his legs, you saw most of that in the other mode, again, as I stated. And you turn around here, and the backpack's on his back, a lot of molded in detail there. And now I'm going to get him out here next to Optimus Prime. Maybe back it up a little bit. See these guys side by side. I'm bringing a little bit closer so you can see the chest is completely different. The waist is different. They got it kind of designed, layout the same, with like the little license plates in the middle and these little bars here. But it is different. The forearms, let me drop these guns out. The forearms are different. This one actually looks more like the G1 Optimus with the little triangle here and the little rectangle there. And Optimus Prime doesn't have them. His hands are completely different. These hands are larger. You can see them. And bring out Optimus Prime's smaller hands. So I think the only thing they really share is the head. You know, and it's sort of a similar look. Like I said, the waist is different, the legs are different all the way down to the toes. Spin around, you're just not seeing reused parts at all. The tires are different, if you can see them well enough. They're totally different. And he has ports on his arms that aren't present over here, or this one is in a different location. So he is completely different than Optimus Prime. So I'm going to break this guy down to the actual truck mode, and man, I want to talk about some things in that mode. Slot the Magnus booty down, open these back up, pop his chest back open, close his head up. These arms fold around, and it's a hole here and a peg there, and they kind of just go right in there. Same thing for this arm. Just pop it right in there. And swivel this around, slide the cap forward. If I can slide it forward. I'll bring this thing down and back around. I don't think you have to mess with that. I just did it. All right, get that, come forward, bring these legs forward, and they just, there's a tab, a space for a tab here. The tab is right there on the inner thigh. Close that up, and at the bottom of the leg, there's another tab right there. And this is the transformation. Now, the killer thing about this, the arms are just hanging out. And that wouldn't be so bad, but the hands are just freaking hanging out. And I guess maybe we rotate the hands around so it's a little less obvious, I think, maybe. But yeah, get him down. He rolls pretty good. All the tires. Oh, you can't see it. Let's try that again. Get him down. All the tires on the ground. So he rolls well. But again, the hands are just hanging out. I'm going to reverse the transformation just to here to show you this. It looks like they were going to put this in where it hinged out. Like right down here. And maybe you could fold the arms up. And it's just a shame that you can't do that. And I think it's because maybe this was never meant to play alone as just a cab. But the hands just hanging out like that, man, I gotta say, this bullshit. They should have had the hands fold up. So I'm gonna bring out Optimus Prime to see in his truck mode to see just how different these guys are. Optimus Prime is a little bit longer because his feet fold down, and Ultra Magnus' feet just hang out. Swinging around to the front of the truck. And I see Optimus Prime, I forgot his is translucent too. It's surrounded by silver, so it looks a little bit better to me. And they could have surrounded his in the same silver. And that's a different piece too. Obviously the front here is different. The lights are different, but sort of similar. They're double stacked from top to bottom. And side of the truck. So that is the difference in these two. And Magnus rolls pretty good. It's a little loud, but so I'm going to move on, take these parts out, trying to get them into the full truck mode, unfold, unhinge all of this, and it's going to go just like that. Same thing on this side. Unhinge all of this, and these two halves, of course, come together. I think before I get these together, got to take these two pieces. This is the inner truck and trailer connector. Unfold that. Unfold this. Now they tab together at this point right here, if I'm turning it around correctly, and they go into the trailer a specific way. I think they come down inside here and port in to these little slots on both sides. If I got it right. Yeah. Okay, so they sit in there just like that, and they don't really lock. It's like kind of loose, which is a shame. I think they should lock in there better. Then you take this part, the head and chest piece, and unfold this. Press this through like the bottom and turn that around. This is the top of Ultra Magnus' trailer, and the front becomes the back. But before that, you take these pieces, close them up, and you pin them to the roof of the truck. I think like so. On this side, and like, if you can see it, it goes to the roof of the truck on these two pegs. I'm sorry I didn't have that in camera, but you get the gist of it, and they stick to the roof. And these two little pieces and this piece stick at the back. And I think I was supposed to do this a little bit different, but I'm going to squeeze it in there so the rest, thought I was going to squeeze it in there so it didn't fall apart. You can see what I'm doing. It just tabs in there, and we got that in there. Did I lose this? I lost this a little bit in here. Put this back together. Man, parts forming. And now there are a lot of tabs to tab in. Like there's a piece right here that tabs in on here. You can see it. Tab that in. Straighten this out. Come to this side with the same thing. Get this to tab in on the side of his trailer. The little slots there. Okay, I'm missing it on this side. But these two pieces slot in right here. Continue to close these up. There's a little hinge. Wait, can you see it? There's a little hinge here, and a piece that goes in right here. It goes in there. It's always difficult to do these things and hold the camera and all of that. So yeah, this is basically the trailer and how it looks top to bottom. Now you take this piece, is the little port right here. It slots in right here. And once I get that, I think it holds together a lot better. Alright, now the little hinge here goes into this little notch on the side. If I could just get it. Alright, that tabs in right there. And on this side, same thing. Get it to tab in. And now I think it's, oh wait, you got a friction joint, tab that right there onto the top of the smokestacks. And I do believe this is Ultra Magnus all done. Now it's real loose, like in here when you're trying to put it together, but once it's together, it's together. Like it's not gonna start falling apart on you. It rolls pretty well. Most of the tires rolling anyway. Rolls pretty good. There's nothing scraping in here. It is Ultra Magnus in his armored car carrier mode. And take a look at him in this mode. And you can see what he has. 10 tires, 5 on each side. And you can see the mold in detail from the other modes. And swing around. Oh wait, he's not complete until we get these little things out here. His rocket launchers, or rockets and rocket launchers, all molded in one piece. Get these out here. And now it's Ultra Magnus. There he is. And I'm going to answer a couple questions real quick. Can he carry cars? And how many cars can he carry? I'm going to get Sideswipe out here. Well, now he's carrying one. And Prowl out here. Now, Prowl is kind of hanging over to the cab of the truck. But you can force him to carry two. And I do not believe you can get a car in there at all. Maybe a G1 mini bot in there. And the back of the cab, the back of the truck does not let down at all. So that is Ultra Magnus in his armored truck mode. Okay, peeked at the box. The box has these guns going right here. Why, I don't know. I think this is a throwback. Well, not even a throwback. This is for the other mold. And they got these guns right here. And this is how the box has it. Box. See how the box has it? But I don't think I like that. Oh, there it is. Now it's coming apart. The ports on these guns are a lot tighter everywhere in his hands and everywhere on the truck. Alright, so I'm going to put this back like I'm more familiar with Ultra Magnus looking, and have these things hang out back here. If at all, I probably wouldn't even, I'm just doing this for the review. I would never display it like this. See? I need mine to look as close to the G1 as I can. So anyway, that's how he looks. And while I got him, I'm bringing Transformers Combiner Wars Ultra Magnus. Put him out here. Check these guys out. And his cap was always tiny because it had to fold away. And this cap doesn't turn into a Optimus Prime lookalike at all. It just sort of shell forms inside, sort of like the Masterpiece version. And this guy actually carries cars. I think he carries two. One down low, one up top, so he can actually carry cars. I think he may actually carry more Combiner Wars. It's been a long time since I pulled this thing out to armor car carrier mode. And also the back of this one, doors let down, so you can drive a car in and out or whatever, and you can let this down and drive this car down. So it played a lot more like the G1. I'm not sure if I even got this transformation fully correct. Okay, yeah, right. I didn't even realize until I started playing with it, I didn't unhinge the arms and bring this part all the way back. So let's try the car. Oh, nope. Still can barely get just one car on this one. Still functions better as a car carrier than the other one. This one looks a little bit cooler to me. This one also looks like the G1. I like this thing so much, I put off buying this guy for a long time. Then he started disappearing from shelves, and then they restocked him, and I finally got him. Because I saw this thing back in January, and it's mid-July now. And I picked it up like at the beginning of July, end of June. So, anyway. Combiner Wars, Siege, and G1 Optimus. I just got toys everywhere going on, and here's the G1, and he's just dwarfing this thing. The cab is taller, the trailer's a lot taller. And this one is more cartoon accurate, and this one went for toy accuracy, as you can see. And this was meant to carry G1 cars, but it can carry 2 Siege cars a lot better than these guys. And probably 4 in there. But this guy has no inner storage space at all. And I mean, this review is all over the place. We got toys everywhere. Alright, moving on. Let's take a look. We didn't really give it a good look in this mold. You can see the molding in detail. A lot of hinges hanging out here. I mean, it looks good. What it is, it's just the inner parts don't function. Again, these doors don't let down at all, and these things kind of look weird because again they're bent in, but it's cool. It looks pretty good. And my only really complaint in this mold would be this gapping, and I can get over it, but I'm gonna bring it up. And then now the terrible hands you can no longer see, and I guess that's the way they designed it, like, oh well, it's meant to be one whole piece. So yeah, once you get past the fiddly parts, and again, I did not practice it, so if you practice yours, it probably transforms and holds together a lot better inside the trailer, because once it's done, it's solid. It is solid. So I like this guy in this mode. I'm gonna get him back in his robot mode and continue. Okay, I got Magnus back in robot mode. Now for the best part of any toy review, we're gonna do some comparisons. Gonna get them out here next to Siege Optimus Prime, of course, to see how they scale next to each other. I'm gonna put Springer out here, recently reviewed, and these two guys, I believe, are Voyager class figures, and he's a Leader class figure. And speaking of that, let's scoot one of these guys over. I'm gonna bring out Leader class Shockwave. And I call BS. I call BS because you got to hook up all the stuff to him, and he's still not that big, and he's supposed to be a Leader class just because he came with the accessories. So call BS on that. Get this pipsqueak out of here because he's not in Leader class. And again, 2 Voyager class, Leader class. Bring out Ironhide. I believe he's a deluxe figure. He's a larger deluxe guy. This size scales with Ultra Magnus. And last but not least, I'm going to scoot him back a little bit more. And we're going to bring out some other Magnuses. Here he is with Combiner Wars Ultra Magnus. And I wish this guy was this height. He'd be damn near perfect if he was this height. I really love this figure. This one is done better, but he's not big enough. You know, I like the little style on this, but I like this one too. The only thing I like about this one is he doesn't have the Optimus Prime cab separate transformation. And I'm going to, of course, bring in the G1, and inside these guys scale side by side. I'm gonna scoot these guys back a little bit, and I'm gonna move this guy over here for color coordination effect, and I'm gonna drop in the masterpiece Ultra Magnus, making his first debut in a while in the toy review and in this toy review. And this is how these guys scale side by side. So my final thoughts on Ultra Magnus, I'm very happy I got it. He had a couple issues that I didn't like the little paint bleed on the shoulders and at the waist. But other than that, it was pretty good. The trailer was a little loose when you're putting it together to combine it to parts form it into the trailer. But once you get it together, it's very solid, which was cool. I like the articulation. I really don't have any complaints other than I wish he was bigger. I wish if he was this guy's height, he'd be perfect. He would absolutely be perfect, but he's not. So you're just gonna have to deal with it. And I guess he's proportioned to these guys like Optimus Prime. I guess it's cool. I just wanted him to be taller. So other than that, that's my only real complaint. And over the hands hanging out in the cab mode, I did not like that at all. So that was my one big major complaint. The hands just hanging out. Happy I got it for, was it $49.99? I recommend this figure if you don't have it for $49.99. So I want to thank you for watching George Reviews. This is the review where every toy has a story.
Autobots, transform!